Looks like we are live. Hi, everybody. Michael here. Welcome into this video today on this nice Thursday that we have. And if you're watching this right now on the live, give me a hashtag live. If you are here on this replay, give me a hashtag replay so I know at the time intervals you've been watching. Now, I'm very happy to be here in front of you. In a moment, I'm going to be showing you how to go viral in any niche with any type of platform much faster. Now, I define viral in many different formats and ways. It's what our brand has been built on, viral home-based pursuit, meaning many different things: a viral affiliate, viral income earner, viral personality, viral character. Now, I'll get into that in just a moment, but I do want to cover some very quick things. My week, it's been great, very productive. Happy we're coming to a Friday tomorrow, and I couldn't be more happier. We have our family from California, my grandma, my uncle are visiting. They're in town. She's been cooking up a lot of food. Like, I'm talking enchiladas. She's Mexican. Enchiladas, anything you can think of that a grandma can make very great at. It's like, it's one of those things that where I rarely ever feel like mind numbing in a good way, where it's like your brain freezes when you're eating. You get tunnel vision, get that with my grandma here. But aside from that, we're going to talk about the topic on virality, and I'm going to show you my 4-step framework that you can apply in any niche, in any type of industry, and expect massive growth, massive outcomes, and be able to quickly optimize and continue to bounce back with it. I remember a time when I first getting started, when I was getting into the blogging industry, and I was trying to discover different types of people to learn from. You had the Neil Patels of the world, Brian Dean, so many more I won't get into. But I was learning their different ways, the way they would express themselves, what came naturally, what didn't. Was more so getting the information from them. Wanted to know how reputable, how knowledgeable they were, because I wasn't going to move forward unless they were that person. I didn't want to learn from somebody that didn't know what they were talking about, right? You wouldn't want to do that. And so I was more or less getting the information from them, less about seeing their ways, the ways they were interacting in the very beginning, was getting less of that and just trying to get the information from them. Like, if you can relate, I was clicking the video if I was watching one, and I'd zoom over to like the 5th minute so I can get the juice. So I wouldn't have to sit through the first 3 minutes of an introduction. And I didn't understand that, and I didn't think that would play in as a factor, but little did I know that. So in my journey, I got a blog running in the health and wellness space, started producing content on it, and started learning keyword research in that process and understanding how to find the low-hanging fruits. I had a social media account, I had Facebook and a few others running, but they weren't focused. I had tunnel vision on the blog, and that's what I focused for a long time. And I was doing it time and time again and just seeing, okay, what people were typing into the search engines, and just trying to target that type of content. So if somebody was saying like how to get better relief from back pain, I'd write a piece of content around that, launch it into the Google network, and hope for the Google bots to come over and crawl it and index it and push it in front of everybody, get it on the top of Google search results. And that's what I thought would work best. Time went by, and I'm really looking at my watch as I'm sitting one day, thinking to myself, wow, it's been over 3 days for this article, and it's been over a month now for this one, and it still hasn't ranked to where I wanted it to. Maybe the Google bots just haven't crawled it enough, given it enough time, enough of the reputation it deserves. And little did I know, time goes by, and now I'm just in the same position I was before, asking myself, why isn't this piece of content going anywhere? Why are these people's content going and mine isn't? So I diverted a little bit of my attention. I wouldn't lie. I went into Facebook, started doing more Facebook methods of outreach and posting content on groups and stuff like that. And while it somewhat was working to me, it never got me to a point where I was moving forward and getting a massive amount of value in terms of virality. So I had to learn how to shuffle back and think to myself, okay, if this didn't work, then now this will. And so I had to figure out what it was I was doing wrong. And one thing that I did was I didn't take the information other people were already publishing in my space and my industry and using that to my advantage. And so that's one thing that I want to bring to your attention. And I also want to put this on screen here. Let me add this. Okay. So this is what we go by here. What is virality? What does it ultimately mean? Okay. I define my own virality as a viral affiliate, as somebody who's trying to go viral online. Meaning, I don't put this in the hands of someone else to ensure I go viral. Right? You can be on TikTok, but at the end of the day, you're defining your own virality. It's not measured by someone else doing it for you. You can learn from others, but you're the person who ultimately will define if you go viral or not. So you create your own viral outcomes. What does that mean? Again, this goes back to how do you define your virality? And it's by your own characteristics that you put forth in your content and the outcomes that come out of that. So those are the viral outcomes that you are creating for yourself, right? If you were to say, I want the goal to be, I want to go viral with this specific type of content and I want to put it out to the world like this, now you have to kind of work backwards from that and say, what type of content, what type of deliverability and message do I need to put into this to make sure I get that outcome? So you create your own viral outcomes. Nobody else does it. They don't define it for you. So you build your own viral content. This is very key to going viral. So building your own viral content, that is the pinnacle of everything you're going to do online, digital marketing, whatever it is. You attract people through your content. And you cannot define or get to those outcomes without building your own piece of viral content. For example, let's say you were on TikTok and you're seeing other people amassing the amount of views, followers, leads, sales, etc. So what do you think you need to do to define yourself into that category? You need to build that content, right? You need to know what type of content your audience is searching for, what is best for the platform at hand, and so forth. And then I change the way I go viral. So this goes back to how you define your own virality, but you're changing one step at a time. To get to the outcomes you want, you have to be able to change yourself. You can't just stick to the same things you've been doing now that are not getting you where you want to get to. So you change the way you will go viral. And that meaning there's a specific messaging you have that is unlike anyone else. The deliverability, the hook, the story, the offer at the end, and this is going to be a part of the framework I'm going to reveal to you in just a moment. But you change the way you ultimately will go viral. Not every piece of content is created equally, and you can always create something different in a different space. So you are going to be changing it, and that's going to ultimately change you. So you are just one viral piece of content away, as we see there at the bottom. Okay, that's what I really want to make sure you guys get into your head, is that to go viral isn't important. 1 second here. Is going viral important? Depends on what your goal is. If my goal is to make a massive impact without, expecting a sale in return, then it should be. And that should be the aim 100% of the time is if I'm going to go viral, I'm going to put forth the best content that I have possible. I'm going to do all my research that I need to have. I'm going to follow a certain process. I'm going to lay it out. You lay it out on paper in a document, and you have this bird's eye view of what you want, and you can fill in the details in between those gaps. Excuse me. And you can have the right hook, the story, the offer that executes, and it catches the attention of people. It can go massively viral, especially if you're in a trend. If you're in a trend, you're in a trending platform, a trending product, trending niche, trending message, you can blow up. Just make sure you put the right thing in front of people. Now that brings me to my next piece of content. Now let me remove this. One second. Okay, so this is my framework here, and I'm going to close out of this. This is my 4 steps to going viral fast with any niche and any platform framework. Step 1, you want to find. So that means you're actively researching people in your specific niche who you eventually will want to model, which is our step number 2. So we're finding people in our designated niche. So we should put here, find people, find content, but most importantly, find viral content. Okay, we can break that down in the step 1. We find what's already working in our industry. Examples here, we're on Facebook. We are finding out what type of groups are going fast and viral. We figure out in a Facebook group, somebody posted something and it's amassing amount of views and followers and clicks and comments, engagement. You watch the Facebook ad appear and you want to model that. We want to know, we want to find that. How do we do that on each different platform, on Google, blogs, YouTube, and we tackle it from that. Okay. Number 2, we model. We model success. And what I mean by that is we don't just find the people who are going viral and they only happen to go viral once or whatever that can mean. But step 2, we model those type of people and also the ones who consistently do it on a regular basis. Might not happen every day, every time, but you know they have a formula that's actually working for them. So we want to model, and that goes back to the modeling the content that would happen to make you go viral in the first place. Okay, so we want to find them, but we also want to model them as we do that. So for example, if I am in the blogging space, so I'm typing into Google best, and then insert your niche blog. So best technology blogs, best back pain blogs, etc., etc. So we find these people, we click through, we learn about their content, what they're doing, we go to their About Me page, we even go a step further and we go to their Facebook, we might be on their YouTube channel, etc. And so once we see what they're doing, what do you think is next? Exactly, we model. So we go through their content mostly and we figure it out. We see, okay, what is it that's working, what is not working for them? What gave them engagement, what doesn't? So if you're doing blogging, for example, you can type in their domain URL or a specific page into something like SEMrush, Ahrefs, Jaxi, different keyword analyzing tools and options, and figure out even more what their keywords are, what they're using, and how we can make a deeper impact with our own. We don't copy, we model, we make it our own twist. And that goes back to the whole virality thing is you define your own virality by being unique. And by delivering your own piece of content, you define those things, not someone else. So step 3 here, you create. And more specifically, we're talking about creating your own piece of content. It might still be an ad, could be just organic, but we create our own content. And in that process, you're creating your own virality. And that goes back to what we were saying earlier is you create your own content, you define your own virality. And to define your own virality, what do? We have to know how to create that type of specific content. Okay. So defining it, yeah, you can have your own ideas, but you still have to find and model what's already working. Okay. So create that content, you create virality. Step 4, we just execute. Execute on your virality, execute on your content. So this is simply, as it says, oh, let me close this here. Okay. I don't know if you can see that too well, but it says execute content. This being, you have to put the right type of messaging from the hook, the story, and the offer, and then execute them with a call to action, tell them where to go, what to pick up, and so forth. So you cannot just find, we're going to model somebody, and then we're going to create content and leave it at that. No, you have to learn how to execute if you want to go viral. And when you can execute having a great hook, you put a good storyline in it, and then you have a compelling offer in between that or at the bottom of it, and you're doing the previous steps where you're creating fun, you're modeling well, and you're just finding those people, then you can ensure that 9 times out of 10 that would end up happening. And then there's a lot of different factors that go into that, like the platform, a trending product, et cetera, et cetera. But those are the 4 that you want to use to go viral fast with any niche and in any platform, right? More or less. Now, there are tactics and strategies to this that I won't cover in this video. But if you would like to learn more, I'll leave more information on that down below in the description. And if you haven't also picked up my free blueprint guide to affiliate marketing, my 5 steps to making 1,000 plus per month, look for that in the description. And just more information if you need to get a hold of me as well, if this is maybe the first time you're watching this. And in case you have any questions, shoot me up, leave me a comment. I'm here to help you. We'll get to them as fast as possible. So those are the 4. We're going to go through them very quickly and then this short video. You're finding the people, you're finding that content that they have, you're finding their viral content. Now, what do we do with step 2? We model the success that these people are already having. We model that virality because we already found what in step 1, the content that's making them go viral. And then we're just going to continuously model that content. Step 3, we create the content from the information that we were given before in the steps, and that could also create your virality. Step 4, we execute virality and we execute on the content of it. And you follow these 4 parts of the framework, you will, I'm going to use the word ensure, but you'll have a higher likely chance of doing that. And then that brings a massive amount of views. Okay, so when you can go viral, I know it's not always the easiest thing because you shouldn't focus on one piece of content is not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to continue to put content out there, and maybe an unexpected piece of content will go viral. Why? Because it hits at the right place and at the right time. It might not have been something you modeled, but because you put this one message out in front of people and it hits at the right place at the right time, you can explode. And that's what's happened to me a lot of the times with blogging, with more or less YouTube at the moment. With YouTube, I've had good videos that do that. With TikTok, big, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube Shorts, etc., etc. So you can apply this to any niche, but if you're just being lazy, if you just want the results handed to you, here's your cup of tea. There's your water. If you want those things handed to you, you really have to look at yourself deeply in the mirror and ask yourself, am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I sure I really want to do this? Because you will have your breakthroughs, you will have your moments where it just feels down on you, and then you'll just feel like you wanted to quit. But hang in there, continue to build, don't give up, keep putting content out there, keep being viral as we just saw earlier. Let me come back to this very quickly, remove this screen. So I'm going to share this once more. Okay. So remember again, with us here at Viral, you define your own virality. No one else does. Ultimately, that's where we want to get to. The very top is you defining how you go viral, what you had to do that. Below that, we have to create. You create your own viral outcomes. But how do we get to that outcome? We break it a step further and we look down to I build my own viral content. And how do I do that? By changing the way that I go viral. We model them with those 4-step framework that I just showed you, and you'll just be one viral piece of content away from getting a massive amount of leads, a massive amount of attention, and that then turning into sales, and then building this audience that you will be really happy with. I can't tell you, let me remove this, how many times people have stuck to this. Simple 4-step step framework, and these are things that I cover step by step more deeply, and as you've seen in my content already. And you just have to be persistent. There's no other way about it. Don't look for that one home run hitter or that one piece of content that you think will just do it all and just lay back. And even when it works, you don't have to do anything more. And another thing too, I think I already mentioned why I'm in this room, but yeah, things are moving outside for the time being. Just a quick, frequently asked questions that I want to get out of the way, and I'll let you go. Let's just take about 3 or so minutes. I've been always getting asked, very common questions, but I want to get even deeper in this one. How to promote viral content. It's one thing to go viral, and it's a whole other thing to promote that piece of content. And my answer to you is to distribute it, be omnipresent. So say, for example, you go on TikTok and that video just exploded, but you didn't put it on a different channel. You didn't put it on Pinterest idea pins. It didn't go on YouTube Shorts. It didn't go into Instagram Reels, etc., Facebook. And you're sitting on this one piece of content when you could have put it out on different channels. So to go viral and to ensure that there's long-term durability in that, be omnipresent and circulate it amongst different channels. And the advantage to doing that is you also get to see if it works or not. You might have put a TikTok one on Instagram, and I've seen this a lot of times, and it just didn't hit. So then what do? You don't just quit. You just say, okay, I'm going to figure out maybe something just didn't work with the hashtag. Maybe I couldn't just repurpose my content from TikTok to Instagram. I have to directly upload it there. Maybe I was 30 seconds short. I didn't add an extra 30 seconds to that video. And you can continue to grow from there. But don't give up on yourself. Don't say, I'm going to quit. Just say, my failures won't make me a quitter. My failures are just mistakes, and they are learning lessons for me to next time not repeat them. So the next time you go forward, you may have a little setback, but it won't be a complete failure as it was before. You're going to continue to grow. And so that is my advice to you just for this one piece. And that is everything from me. All right, if you don't hear from me in video tomorrow or in the groups, maybe I don't go live in there and so forth, please have a great Friday and weekend coming up. I'm sure I will. We have some plans going in with my aunt or my grandma and uncle and a few other people that we're going to be hanging out with and just enjoying their company and, of course, enjoying delicious foods. I can't stress that out. It's mind-blowing. Had some enchiladas. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Bye.